Hello, how are you? It's me, Christine, at the Hillside Haven, coming to Facebook land for a different reason today. It is this kind of day, ladies and gentlemen. It is a fizzy kind of day. That means my day will be spent drinking potassium, liquid potassium. Yes, just like you get when you go to the emergency room. It is 25 MEQs of powdered or effervescent potassium in a fizzy, dropped in about that much water, 6 ounces maybe, shooken up well, and squirted in my mouth. Okay, so I wanted to talk about something really quick, and I'd like to keep it under 10 minutes. Okay, so thank you for the blanket. I love it. Lori sent me a blanket from Las Vegas or somewhere out in the West Coast. Thank you so much. I love it. I love it. It's awesome. It's like Sherpa, and it's a healing blanket. Okay. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this kind of thing. So this is periodic paralysis and paramyotonia congenita, and actually that's part of what I wanted to talk about. So on days like this, it can be a little bit of so let's say somebody that has a seizure or a migraine. I don't really know of another medical condition, but that kind of out of nowhere it will happen, yet there can be triggers. And being that I was diagnosed just June or July actually of 3 years ago, this is also new to me. So when I went to the Periodic Paralysis Conference in October in Orlando, International Worldwide Periodic Paralysis Conference here in Orlando, what a blessing. This year it's in Chicago, and this Chi-Town girl, she's a going. Okay, so I am sucking down my potassium, otherwise known as my K, to get my levels back up. So when I went to the conference, all the international professionals, researchers, and doctors in the whole world that know about periodic paralysis spent 3 days talking to us about periodic paralysis, the causes, what they think, research, fixes, medicine, blah, 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 science, all this mumbo jumbo that I don't know much about. And being newly diagnosed, a lot of the terms don't make sense to me yet. All I know is for 30 years, I've been telling doctors that I feel like somebody sucked all the blood out of my body all of a sudden, like I'm going to faint, or sucked all the blood out, water, blood, whatever, and I feel like I'm going to faint. And I don't faint, though. It's interesting. It's not that kind of feeling, but it feels like that. I just said like the opposite of whatever. Anyway, you get the point. And the doctor, when I was properly diagnosed in Pennsylvania, Dr. Lewis says, that's called the dump. So now I know that that's called the dump. That's when the potassium, I know it's the potassium, but I don't know if it's leaving the muscle or the ion channel, because the ion channel is where the potassium leaks from. Okay. So to say all that is there are different things that I can do that can influence or trigger, not an episode itself, but can influence. It's a better way to say it. And that's what the doctors talked to us a lot about at the conference, were cold weather, which we already knew. Hence, we moved to Florida because I had been in a wheelchair and it was not looking good. And they didn't have a diagnosis. And then carbs and sugar, exercise, adrenaline rush, medication. Now, not all of those obviously in a little bit will affect me. I need to exercise. I need to eat a little bit of carbs, fruits and vegetables that have carbs in them. And salt is like my nemesis, which I'm not a huge salt person, so I'm lucky. All right. So I was recently in the cold weather having quite a few of the myotonia episodes, which are the muscle seizures. So like you would have a Charlie horse. My body has a Charlie horse on all the muscles, like correspondingly, and just last year, as you all know, for several hours, and that's why I ended up in the hospital and in a wheelchair for a bit. So, however, my mind works good, so those that know me know I don't stay in a wheelchair long, and I'm still doing everything I can to keep on keeping on. And a lot of it is trying to really have a positive outlook and really remember that this is just temporary. This isn't forever. This is there's people in that hospital, seriously, people that are losing their lives, losing their spouses, their children, getting diagnosed with conditions that basically are terminal, and I'm in there over some. This is honestly, this is a walk in the park, and I will be happy to take this compared to what most people go through. So I am really blessed, and honestly, if I haven't told you already, this has given me way more than it has ever taken, specifically since I was diagnosed 3 years ago, and being able to examine all of that. But I have been so blessed in learning a lot about myself and self-care and people. And anyway, dial it back. So what I wanted to say was, recently, with me having all those episodes through the cold months of the myotonia part, the doctor, the neurologist that we now have in Orlando, hallelujah, that is a specialist in muscular dystrophy and periodic paralysis. She was witness to several of my episodes and concerned about them. So she put me on a medication a few weeks back, I think in February, for the myotonia, mixilotine. And outside of potassium, magnesium, thyroid medicine, that is the only thing that I take now is the mixilotine. I couldn't take the Diamox or the spirulactin anymore. And I'm not getting into what those are. So I do take the mixilotine. Amazing. I had been having the jerking, as I call it, the muscle seizures, like daily, and full-on body muscle seizures weekly. And that really is kind of a damper. But, you know me. Everybody knows me, knows I just get back up. I'm like the Energizer Buddy. I just keep going. I'm so thankful for that. So she put me on mixilotine, and I have been on that for the myotonia now for several months, and I have had very few, if not under 2 or 3 myotonia episodes with the muscle seizure part. And it sort of feels like you're getting electrocuted inside. It feels like this, and then it just keeps increasing like a volcano, increasing until all the muscles are flailing and jerking and seizing, and I'm talking, and you know, because all those muscles have paralyzed and seized up. So I am doing fantastic on the mixilotine. Go, Dr. Jareth. I love it. Thank you. I'm so blessed. However, recently I took about 6 weeks of emergency, and it tore up my esophagus a bit, and the potassium is causing quite a bit of heartburn and problems with my esophagus. So I had to start on omeprazole in order to help me with that, and apparently that must affect my potassium, because my primary care doctor warned me that take as little as necessary. I'll only take 1 in the morning if I can, and then wait and make sure before I take 1 at night. So anyway, I took the omeprazole for a week now, and so I've had to have a fizzy basically every day. But as you saw yesterday, I'm doing really good, and I'm up and going. We'll drink this baby, and I'll be up and going, just taking it slow and easy, and nothing wrong with that. Thanks for listening, guys, and appreciate that. Appreciate all your love and encouragement. And again, I can't say thank you enough, and for your consideration, your love and encouragement. You guys have a good one, and have a blessed day. Bye.